So it happened. The journey became easier. And it just reverberated today. And I have to talk about it. I think that a day like today is one of the most transformational moments of my entire life, which I know that that's really extra to say, but it's because I'm going to take off my glasses, actually. I just think it might help me talk about it because it's kind of like emotional, which is hard sometimes for me, a little bit. This journey has been so guttural most of the time. I don't know, like I talked about it a lot, but I'm very much like throughout a lot of this, it was activistic. So I think a lot of times people don't understand, like when you're an activist, you have to really put on a strong face a lot of the time. You can't look weak. You can't show any crack in your armor. You can't ever do that because otherwise the enemy will use that against you, basically. So you have to be really strong and have essentially a brave face throughout the journey. So I would talk about things a lot. I would talk about how miserable I was. I would talk about how much I suffered, how awful the journey was. But I think for the most part, what peeked through, you guys didn't ever really feel it entirely. I think in the very beginning, for those of you guys who were around from like 2023, you could kind of tell. But in that, what you could see was like a lot of time where I wouldn't post. You could see a lot of times where I couldn't look at comments or, you know, this kind of stuff. Like I was struggling a lot. Like when I suddenly stopped going live in May of 2023. What the fuck? That was not like a coincidence. You know what I mean? That was something that I did because I was having somebody harass me in my chat and I couldn't keep a grip. Which I never said this, but I don't really give a fuck about anything anymore. I am almost certain that that account that harassed me was my ex, which is crazy. I figured that out in the summer because that account said something that my ex said to me a long time ago that he thought I forgot, but I didn't. But it was the exact same verbiage, the exact same. But I couldn't handle it at that time. So that's why I stopped, because I was very like vulnerable. And so in 2023, I figured out a way to compartmentalize. That's what I spent most of the year doing. It was very like, how do I separate how hard this is from actually doing it? Because it's really, really hard. And so I did it, and it was limited. 1 second. I think my phone is dying. I love that for me. We love a professional diva. I love being a professional queen. I love it. It's the best. Oh my God. Gosh, I'm definitely a diva. Anyways, I think I'm okay with my glasses on right now. So a lot of 2023, I was working to compartmentalize because it was so difficult. There were so many like fights in my personal life. I had a lot of family drama in 2023. I had a lot of financial drama in 2023. It was brutal. And I mean brutal. But I would still show up and I do my best to be like acting as if things were normal or there was some kind of normalcy. And I would share things at times, but often not in the moment, because I don't really like it when activists try to use like an activistic channel as a journal. I don't really like that at all, personally. Like, I think if there's any activists watching, always filter what you post on oh my gosh, not me hitting the cord, always filter what you're putting on your activistic channel, because it's not a journal. It's a separate thing. And sometimes people have had that impression that it is a journal, but it's not. Like, oftentimes when I would tell you guys things, it's after. It's like weeks after I've already processed. I hardly ever would get on here and cry and that kind of shit. Like, there were moments where I would, like on my update videos and stuff like that sometimes. But it was just like, holy shit, this is fucking hard. Basically, I was in the throes of a guttural breakup at the time. I was very tortured about the fact that I was single and 30. It really bothered me. It was like my worst fear. I never wanted that to happen to me. And I'm not here to... And then I have to deal with all the political bullshit where whenever you breathe online, people read into things and, oh my gosh, what are you saying about me? And and it's like, shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck. Stay single for all your whole life. This is my life. I didn't want to be single in 30. I didn't want that for myself. I didn't. You know, and I should be able to breathe and say that, but you can't. So it's like the whole time too, I'm like having all these internal feelings and all these hormones and all this crap, and I have to hold it together and try to convince people the whole time. And it was really hard. And so that year, it was like really, really, really hard. It was so hard, I couldn't have done it full time. It was that hard. And then it was just so much of my own process. It was so difficult. It was horrible. And then I had an identity crisis. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, you guys know some of the lore. Those of you guys who have been around, you know the lore. So it's like, that's a lot. And then, oh my Lord, then the next year came. In 2024, my main job started to go down fast with the swiftness. And I was struck with such a fear. So where 2023 was so much, the process was so hard, the physical process was so hard, the emotional, the psychological, all of it. You know, I had like a complete freak out attack. I tried to tell you guys that, but I don't think people understand. Like in 2023, I freaked the fuck out. I had a complete psychological break during the summer. And I had to like act like it was okay. Which I know that's crazy to say, but that just goes to show how hard it was. It was that hard. Like, and that was just like on a physical and psychological level. Like, I think at that point, like being in the downsizing process and having not BINGE'd for as long as I had, I couldn't handle it psychologically that well. Like, so I had a moment of snapping. You know, I had so much anxiety transference onto my car. The moment where I snapped, it was about my car. And it was like, we have to get the car fixed and and I was like, I can't, like, and I just couldn't handle it. It was crazy. That's how I know this shit, you know? So I feel it. Like when I'm telling y'all, like when you got this issue, don't deal with your anxiety. I'm talking from experience, babe. Like, cause when you're not BINGing, oh honey, that anxiety is there. It's there with the swiftness as well. It's fast. You see it right away, especially if you're huge. It is wild. And I didn't do this. I completely raw dogged this. No medication, nothing. I took some stinging nettle root extract pretty much the whole time. That was basically it. And then I would take sometimes other herbs too, but it was very limited. It would be like milk thistle and, you know, like pine pollen. Like it wasn't anything that grand. And I don't even think I was taking that much of it, to be honest. But I have taken that stinging nettle root pretty consistently. But it's like, that was what I was going on, you know, like no Ozempic, no psychological drugs, nothing. Totally doing it on my own and doing it activistically, which was like crazy as fuck. And I had a hope and a prayer, and I was like, well, I think I got this, and I'm just gonna believe. And I just did it, and it worked. You know, 2023 ended. I lost 50 pounds. I had the identity crisis. I just kept going, which is kind of insane to say. But I had done so much work with compartmentalization that things continued mostly. Like, I didn't really post in December that year. It was really hard. That was a hard point. And then 2024 came. My job falls apart. You know, it really goes downhill fast. By April, it's really bad. And I'm like, oh my God. And then my car started having so many problems. And I was like, oh my fucking God, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And so it's like, as the physical issues were getting better, the practical and the financial issues were getting worse. And things really, really escalated on a process, a procedural level. How do I do this? How do I continue as an activist? And then meanwhile, I'm tortured. I was in my tortured era. So it's like, I have all these huge questions. It's like, okay, I got out of supermorbid obesity, but what the fuck now? What do I do now? Can I continue? Can I continue with my life? Can I continue with this activism? Can I continue? You know, what am I going to do about my life romantically? What am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do now? It was really hard. It was very difficult. And I just kept going. You know, I was so used to so many of these hormonal waves ruining my life, but they didn't. And then it's like, oh my God, they're not though. What now? So I guess I can go full time. So I took a bet and I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I did it. And it was really fucking hard. And I had financial issues and I had to make more money. It was really hard. So it was a struggle. And I think like by the time I got to the brat era, I looked like I was having more fun, but I was really struggling financially. Like, I was doing better physically, but I was really struggling financially. I had to do a lot for my car that autumn, that brat autumn. And I worked my ass off. I had to work all the time. I never had a breath at all. And I mean, it was brutal. That December was horrible for my job, and it's usually like the best month. It was horrible. It was devastating. I was completely floored. And so I think a lot of times people don't understand, like, oh my gosh, like, you're such a bitch, or what happened, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like the amount of expectation that people have, like, I don't know how, you know, I don't know if it's just me. I think it is probably the brave face. I don't know. Or it's like I can act like things are easy, or I can act like I'm okay or something. I don't know what it is. But people just don't, they either don't give a fuck. Maybe that you guys just didn't give a fuck that I was struggling. But it's like, shut up and just continue, basically. It's like, shut up and stop complaining. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even think that's what you guys are saying. But you guys were kind of saying, like, you were kind of like, you're evil and you're a bitch and whatever. You know, I got a lot of that, which is fine. Like, it's a part of the job. And I think that that's, like, I learned, like, I had so much more capacity for what I could do. But let's talk about the big old 2025. So in 2025, I reached a point of stability in terms of financially. I entered my mid-era. Things were very midline. It wasn't great financially, but it was workable. It was like, okay, I'm making it. I'm not comfortable. I'm just barely making it. It's like I'm making it, and I have some time to sit and do nothing because I don't have any extra money at all. I'm totally strapped, right? And so, and by that point, I was so like, I have to do stuff. Like, I have to get out of the house. I have to do something. Like, I was like, I had been like in a freaking like health crisis coma for like 3 years, like 2021 to, you know, 2020 was a wash, obviously. So then 3, then 4, then by 5, I'm like, oh my God, like I need to get out more. I need to live my life a little bit. So I did, thank God. And I had friends help me, and it was just, I'll never forget it, because it really helped me last year, to just kind of have some kind of spirit going, because I was worked to the fucking bone by the time I went to LA in March of that year. I was so exhausted. I was so burned out activistically. It was just crazy. But I was like, I have to fight for this, and I have to prove something. I have something to prove. And I knew it was so important to be so present during the brat era and the mid-size era. Those 2 eras were everything. I'm like, I have to show this part. This is the part that's never shown. This is the part that people don't ever show. They barely ever show it. I have to do this. And so I did it. And created the toxic ritualistic, dealt with censorship, dealt with these things, created a whole system, almost an entirely new language of how to talk about this, because people don't let you talk about it. And I got a lot of work done activistically, but in 2025, I had a legitimacy crisis that I wasn't expecting, because all of a sudden I wasn't fat anymore, even though I was. So it's like I was perfectly mid. You have the worst of both worlds in some ways. So it's like I don't know anything anymore because I'm fat, but also I don't look good. So don't listen to me. And it's like, ooh, that's really hard. So a lot of people were challenging me a lot, and I was going into like this mid-size rage phase, or I don't want to say rage, that's too dramatic. Mid-size anger. Because I was more ragey when I was super morbid, to be honest. It was more severe. But with this, it wasn't. It was just kind of like I'm mad all the time. And so it's like I'm not totally great. I'm struggling still. It's like I've worked my ass off to the bone. I don't like where I'm at. I've worked my ass off to the bone activistically. I don't like where I'm at. It's like I don't understand why I don't have legitimacy, why I don't have credibility. You know, as an activist, credibility is everything as an activist. And it's like, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. No matter how hard I tried, it's like people were just so weird. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like, I thought if I earned this, that I would get more credit, not less. And it didn't happen that way. And it shocked me. And then I saw like the toxic ritualistic reinforcement and stuff. And so we talked about that stuff on a more personal level. But it's like, it was really hard to navigate. Like, it's when you are trying to figure out something, you're triggering everybody massively because you're mid-sized. So everybody's all freaked because I was a huge person, and then now I'm mid, and people are like, what the fuck? The sky is fucking falling. And then everybody's freaking out at the same time. Then I have it all in my personal life too. I have it in my personal life. I have it in my activist life. I have it publicly. I have it privately. I have it this, that, everywhere. Like, it was crazy. It's all at the same time. That's usually how I could tell that it had to do with my weight, because it would happen at the same time. And then it's like I'm sitting here like I barely even have time to figure out how I feel about it. You know, like certainly in the beginning of the mid-era, it was crazy. And I was like, what the actual fuck? And so then I go into like May or so, and I start to kind of settle into it, and I calm down, and the channel's doing great, and things are moving forward. And then I'm like, okay, it's finally getting better, right? Then around June, I keep going, and then the process starts to become really hard again. And I'm like, oh my God, this is getting really hard. And as you guys know now, I know now, like I was becoming very, very, very anemic during the summer. Like certainly like the end of spring going into July, I was like, oh my God, I'm so anemic. And I didn't even realize it till August, which thank God, thank you whoever commented about it, because that was like really helpful, because it's actually really, really common. And so it helped activistically too. And hence we have the diet culture vampire who has no blood, because it's very common to become anemic in weight loss. And I didn't know that. But like it started to get physically really, really hard. And then emotionally really, really hard. And I'm like, oh my God. So it's like I go into the vanity era and I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll talk about all these fitness bros and we'll talk about stuff. And I get really sensitive again. I can barely like function. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so fucking hard. But I was like, I have to continue. I have to do this. I have to fight. And I have to talk about how hard this is, because I never knew it was that hard. I never knew it was that hard. Like when you're doing 2 pounds per week and you're not even overweight, or you're barely overweight, it is very hard. And I was like, holy shit, this is hard. So then I talked about it. Then people are like, oh my gosh, you're complaining. I don't want, you're discouraging people. I don't think you should discourage people. And I'm like, I need to be honest. I'm like, I'm not in the fucking TR. Like, I'm going to tell y'all, this fucking sucks. It's really hard. It sucked. It was hard. And I was like, holy shit, this is hard. But I lost that 20 pounds in like 3 months. Or, you know, basically from July to the end of October. And then I was like, okay, all right, we did this. Now we're going to reverse diet. And then that was really fucking hard. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? And it's like, I'm having migraines and I'm having this and I'm really moody. And I'm like, and then my finances are ugly again. And I'm like, what the fuck? And, you know, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, this is so horrible. And then I'm like, I waited too long. I kept thinking that all throughout November. I was like, I waited too long. I was so scared that I was going to fuck up and that I was going to regain. And I was like, you're going to flop as an activist if you regain. And I was so pissed. I was like, no. I was like over my dead body. No, I don't mean that literally. But I was like, I am not fucking this up. And so I did it. And then I started to feel a little bit better in December. And then I look a little bit better. And then all of a sudden the salt mines come out. So it's like, no matter what I was doing, as soon as I would get through a problem, then I'd approach another problem. So it's like, okay, I start physically feeling better. So then by December, now all of a sudden I'm full of myself. Now I'm the worst. Now I'm this. Now I'm that. The salt comes through. The Annas come to the channel and they freak out. They're like, oh my gosh, he's maintaining. No, we can't allow that. So they bitch out on me horrifically. All of a sudden, and it's like, I'm like, what the fuck? And then everyone's like, oh my gosh. And I made a video about a karmic tie, and I mean, my gosh, you guys were so dumb. Like, some of you guys are so stupid about that shit. Like, you need to chill the fuck out. Like, take a chill pill, you know, like, breathe some air, touch some grass, you know. It's like, I'm trying to have some fun for once. It's like, my gosh, you know, I've been tortured. I've been freaking struggling. I've been like, in my dying era, you know, I was a freaking vampire. I was like coming back to life. And it's like, I just want to have a little bit of levity, a little bit of a breathing room. And it's like, no, I don't want you to have breathing room, Alex, because that makes me uncomfortable, because I don't like it when you talk about something. It's like, okay, whatever, you know, just stick to the facts. There's tons of channels that do that. Why do I have to be like every single other channel? I don't. That's the answer. I don't. But the point is, the salt mines come through. So then it's like, I start to feel better. Then my reputation goes in the gutter. And I'm like, oh my God. For no fucking reason. No reason. Because of a karmic tie. So that was my offense. What's my offense this time? I talked about a karmic tie. That's it. And I didn't apologize for it. I didn't bow my feet to the ground, which why the fuck would I do that as an activist? Like, I don't think people understand what activism is. It's like, activism is not entertainment. I'm not here to like cater to you. I've never been here to cater to you, ever. You know? I do this for the cause. I don't do this for approval. Activists don't get approval. We're always way ahead, all the time. But people want to be an activist until it's time to be an activist, a lot of the time. And it just, oh gosh, it's so annoying. People just don't understand sometimes. Like, they don't understand what I'm doing. But the point is, so I have that happen. And then I have this huge anhedonia wave. And I'm like, oh my gosh, then I have no creativity. So then I'm going into maintenance and I have zero creativity at all. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to do YouTube? I don't have any creativity at all. I'm like, I have no ideas. And I'm going into daily January and I have no ideas. And I flopped a few of the days. I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't. Like, I would try to think of something and I couldn't. And that wasn't like me, you know? And then, so it's like, I have a bad reputation. Then I'm not as creative. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh my God. And then it just like, it was bad. And so then I go into February and then I'm like, okay, thank God. Okay, my creativity's coming back. Like, I'm starting to talk about The Last of Us. I'm starting to do all this shit, right? Get into that. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so emotional. And then all of a sudden, all these emotions come flooding back. And it's like, oh my gosh. And it's like, I feel like I deserve more than this. I should have been further than this. And I start getting into this, like, I don't want to take nothing anymore. I don't want to sit and take people's shit anymore. Like, I work hard and I deserve more. So I got into that mode, which that's like important, like on a spiritual level. That's a very important concept to kind of know your worth. Like, I started to see my worth in February, but it's like, I don't know what to do with that, or I don't know how to handle that correctly. So then I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And then I'm constantly fighting all these emotional impulses the whole month. And then I'm doing this gym thing. I'm so sore. I'm so miserable from being so sore. It's like winter. It fucking sucks. And it's just fucking hard. And then I'm like, okay, like, we're going to survive this, you know? Somehow, some way. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm going to have to do a fucking deficit again. I'm not where I want to be. Because my activistic goals, they're not aligning. As Kesha would say, the stars are aligning. They're not aligning, though. The stars are not aligning. Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my God. These two goals, helping people within the TR and educating the general public, they are now at odds. Because I'm at a difficult spot. So then it's like I'm seeing, oh my God, there's no answer. I can't win. I'm seeing there's no way I can win. I'm looking at the future. I'm looking at the months to come. And I'm like, there's no way. Because the more weight I lose, the more jealous people are going to get. Or the more salty people will get. And if I'm as aggressive as I need to be in teaching people how to fight the zombies, then I'm going to be too mean for the general public, because they're all about what's palatable and all this crap, and they can't even handle, you guys can't even handle a fucking karmic tie conversation. You can't handle anything. You guys are delicate flowers. And it's like, so I'm dealing with delicate flowers and then I'm dealing with zombies, and somehow I have to make that work. And so I come to the conclusion where I'm like, well, honestly, the only thing that's probably going to make the zombies shut the fuck up is if I'm in great shape. Because then they're going to be too intimidated and they're going to back off. And then we can talk. And then it can flow, because people are shallow and the world is dumb. So that means I have to do that. But how do I do that? I have to get there, which means I have to lose more. So then I'm like, oh my God, then I'm going to have to lose more. Then there's going to be this huge thing, blah, blah, blah. Then I realized I had like a small frame, which that fucking sucked too. That was a huge reality check where I'm like, oh my God, I might not even be like where I need to be, just even physically, or like where I need to be comfortable, completely comfortable. And so then it's just all this shit all at the same time. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, here we are. Now I have to do this again. I don't want to do it again. I have to start earlier because it's more strategic. I don't want to start earlier. So then I'm like fighting and fighting and fighting, right? And then I'm like, okay. Struggling and struggling and struggling. Then I sit and I'm like, okay, Alex, you're going to do this. Period. So then I just did it. I launched the next era. I start the deficit. I start talking more about the zombies. Things start to flow again. The flopputation, it's still there, but it's not as bad. And I'm like, okay. Did a little bit of a level up on the channel. Okay. Then, imagine my shock that I go into March and all of a sudden it became easier. Can you imagine? The process of weight loss became easier. And how I realized it was because, as you guys know, and I hate that I have to talk about this because I don't want this to be interpreted as a game at all. It's not. Do a chapel point. But as you guys know, I've been haunted by a British man throughout this time. And Mr. Geordie. And there's too much with that going on. Too much and not enough at the same time. But I'm understanding that's just Britishy man style. So he's just very, very Britishy. And basically, when I first talked about him, I was talking to some people from the area, from England, getting some advice on Britishiness. And I talked to somebody today, and I told her that I think British men are super indirect because I've been listening to Taylor for like 15,000 years. She dated every single guy in England. Full shade intended, Taylor. Love you, but girl, it was a lot. And all these songs are like Willow, giving smoke signals and shit, right? Meet you. Wait, what should she say? Oh my gosh, I'm not on my Swifty shit right now. I'm too distracted. I'm not on the Swifty shit. Wait for the signal and I'll meet you after dark. Yes. Period. I knew that Swifty brain could work. Very, very Britishy. She has so many songs about how indirect they are. And Mr. Geordie is no different. You are no different, Mr. Geordie. And so I was like, okay, he's super indirect. So I've been doing tons of this, like these games and the shadow communication and all this shit for a long time. Too long. I'm not telling you how long. I don't want you to know how long because it's private. But for a minute. Okay? And your girl, me, Diva, over here, was getting so frustrated with the Britishiness. And I have tried to get this man to be direct, to save his life. I have literally told him, let's talk more. We'll try. Then he can't hang. He can't hang. He starts to get weird. So then I'm like, okay, fine. So then I go back to our like secret messages and smoke signals in the dark and all this crap. And then I'm like, I don't fucking want to do this anymore. Because I'm like, gosh, I have done a lot of fucking signals in the dark and I'm doing all this activisty shit during the big old 2025. And I'm doing these smoke signals in the dark too. And I'm like, I'm having a fucking Gabriela Montez, I gotta go my own way moment. I can't do it anymore. And I try to tell him, you're being too fake. You're not being genuine. I don't think he gets it. So let's break it down. You're not talking direct. I'm American. We speak directly in America. If you want to be with an American, you need to work with me. I have worked with you. I have done smoke signals in the dark. I've listened to too many Taylor Swift albums for too long. I've done it. I was brainwashed into it by Twilight and Robert Pattinson. I don't know what the fuck happened to me. Decode by Paramore. Hayley Williams imprinted onto my soul, and I really romanticized the idea of decoding somebody. Even fucking Taylor Swift wrote, who else decode you? That is my question to Mr. Jordy. Who the fuck else decode you? Who's gonna know you like me? The Tortured Lesbian Department. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what the album's called, but that's what I called it the whole time. And I'm sick of hiding that because I called it that the whole time. And I love it. And I don't give a fuck if it offends you. I don't give a fuck if it offends anybody. That album should have been called The Tortured Lesbian Department. Is so much better of a title, and I love it so much. But anyways, Mr. Britishy, he's tortured lesbian. I was a tortured lesbian too. We were tortured lesbians together in 2025. However, 2026 hath cometh upon us, and February 2026 cameth upon us. And one of those tortured lesbians became a decisive lesbian. I'm not tortured anymore. My name is Ellie and I'm immune. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know where I'm going with this, but the point is, I'm a decisive lesbian now. And I told him, I'm not doing the fucking shadow communication anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing the game anymore. Period. We're graduating high school. I'm graduating high school. This whole thing is so high school, which, yes, it's very tortured lesbian coded. Because there is a song called So High School. And I swear, if this shit goes all the way, I'm playing that song at the wedding. I don't give a fuck. That is literally us. We are so high school. It is ridiculous. But this high schooler is going to college. I'm in college now. I graduated. And I'm waiting for a British man to graduate. And the point is, I sat here today on March 2nd of 2026. And it's been a minute since I've been in the game. It's been a minute since I've sent a smoke signal in the dark. And I woke up today tortured as fuck. And I was like, oh no, I can't be a tortured lesbian. I can't do this again. I'm a decisive lesbian now. No. What's done is done. I'm Ellie now. I've moved forward. I've moved on. I had my Gabriela Montez moment. I've got to move on and be who I am. I got to focus on my shit. And everything started coming back together right around the time I stopped. So it was the right decision. But Mr. British is tortured. So once again, just because I don't like the game doesn't mean I don't like you. I'm decisive. You're the one that's not. Let's be very clear. Secondly, I woke up today so fucking tempted to do a signal in the dark. So fucking tempted to go back to high school. I was like, oh, the doors are there. I could hear the guitar. I could envision Taylor and Travis, and how I did not support the relationship when it first started, but I've come to terms. I can understand it now. I'm at a place of understanding. And how she put it on the tour. She put So High School on the tour, and she didn't put the best part of the song, which is, are you going to marry, kiss, or kill me? It's just a game, but really, I'm betting on all three for us too, which, by the way, Mr. Jordy, I always think of you with that. Always. Because it's so us, because we're so high school. But I'm not fucking going back to high school. So I didn't go back. And the point of this whole fucking rant is that it was harder and took more willpower not to engage with Mr. Jordy in this game than it took to do the diet and the gym. And that has never happened in my life. I have never in my fucking life had to put more effort into willpower involving something other than weight loss. That is the fucking point. And I was like, holy shit. This is easier. Holy fuck, this is easier. And much like Mr. Jordy, much like my activism, like the activism is the same way. I may no longer have to hold on with such a vice death-like grip because of how difficult this process has been. Because a lot of the time, as much as I was an activist, and as much as I care for Mr. Jordy, there's been a lot of times where I've depended on both, too. So I haven't been able to be fully, like, with it. And I think where they connect is maybe both the cause and you guys and Mr. Jordy both need to understand that it's not something that I need or depend upon in a desperate way. Because just because I was in a desperate situation, it doesn't mean that I was desperately clinging to this channel or desperately clinging to Mr. Jordy. Both are something I chose from the bottom of my heart. And so now I think both sides of this can finally feel that because it's easier. Because the process is finally easier. And I do feel confident. And I think that both things needed that from me. I do have a sense of hope. I'm not a tortured lesbian anymore. I'm a decisive one. And I think that that's what was needed in my life. And I've become that. And it's easier. And I've become decisive because it's easier. And so, come hell or high water, I'm here. You know? I'm doing it. I'm fighting the damn fight. And I'm gonna fight the damn fight. I'm ready to fucking fight. I love fighting, you know? I don't think I've ever felt more hopeful and more like dreams can come true. Like maybe there's some way that this shit can all work out. I don't think I felt this sense of optimism in a very long time. And it's really special. And it was so like hard earned. And a lot of the stars did align. You know, God has been on my side. I don't give a fuck if it pisses somebody off that I say that. I just don't care anymore. I don't have anything else to prove. I did the damn thing. And so it's like, for those of you that choose me back, I'm fucking here. I'm choosing you. I'm choosing to do this. And yes, Mr. Jordy, I don't hate your guts. I don't know. You guys, I don't know. Is that a British thing? Like, I don't know. Is it a British thing? Is it a gay thing? Is it all of it? You know, is it too much? No, I'm just kidding. Too much, but not enough. Is it me? Am I just a fucking bitch? It's like, no, I'm not a fucking bitch all the time. I am one, but not all the time. And what it is that your girl's been struggling for years. And the struggle's done. And it's shocking me at this moment. And I'm like, holy shit. Because now I hope you as my audience and you as Mr. Jordy can both feel that I choose you. I've chosen this. It's not something done out of desperation. It was something that was always intentional. Something that was so internally motivated that it doesn't matter if things get better. I'm here. And it's just going to be better. And I hope that people can believe that, but I understand that that's the work of being an activist is leading that sense of hope. You have to provide that people, so that people can know that it can get better. And I take it really seriously. I really do. And I'm proud of the work I've done. Because it does matter, or like it makes it mean more. And I'm ready to move forward, you know. But I'm gonna adjust to not struggling. I think that is something that I'm like, holy crap, you know, because my life is different now. It's changed. It goes deeper than my activism. It's like, this is something I've struggled with my whole life. And it's done. That's not something that I can just talk about in a video and then be done. It's like, that's going to take me some time. And that's like a bigger thing that I have to work through or process or like really look at what that means. But I want to say to Mr. Jordy, thank you for the hope that you've provided me. There has been a lot of drama and all that stuff, but you know, I love it. I know it's toxic, but I'm a toxic queen, so I kind of loved it too. But I was in high school with you, but we got to stop. We got to stop being in high school at some point. But anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. This is a little bit high school, but I had to. I'm gonna tell myself I had to do this, and I'm not. Oh my god, oh my god. Eric's gonna tell me that I'm in high school again. I hate him. He's gonna tell me that. Eric is one of those friends that gives accountability, but whatever. I relapsed today, fine. The point is, thank you to the hope that you provided me, and to my audience, thank you for the support. Thank you for some of you, most of you, thank you for the patience with certain moments that were rough. Thank you for just moving forward with every crash out, which, gosh, there's been a lot. And I guess I could say that to Mr. Jordy too. But he ain't innocent, so I don't feel totally bad for him. But I'm not either, so he shouldn't feel bad for me either. But anyways, this is a red flag. This is a red flag for my Kesha, my animals. You guys know that song. That's another one that I always sing about, and I think about Mr. Jordy too. The crazy in me sees the crazy in you, and I think I need it. The broken in me sees the broken in you. I just have a feeling. No, I'm just crazy. I'm just a crazy girl. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a crazy girly pop. No, but I don't know. Can I get a Britishy man to be direct? Is that possible? Can I help solve the obesity crisis? Is that possible? Can I fight the zombies? Is that possible? Can I somehow make the delicate flowers of Gen Pop and the fucking zombies, can I somehow like be aggressive enough to fight the zombies and gentle enough for the delicate flowers? Can I do it? Stay tuned to find out. Stay tuned.